Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Secret Life of. I'm Liz.
And I'm Lindsay, and this is your weekly listen about friendship, creativity, entrepreneurship, and the simple joys in life.
I love what we're talking about today. I'm really passionate about it. How do you feel about it?
Well, I was writing my notes for this, and I saw your notes, and they were very practical and you know what you're doing. And and I'm over here okay, what did I write down, Liz?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I literally wrote
You are hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to have the guest perspective and you're going to have the host perspective.
Oh my God. I love this. What a twist.
Yeah, because I know that I am a good host. People have told me that I'm a good host, but I don't like it because I am a certified people pleaser and I cannot relax. So when I'm a guest, all I really have to worry about is am I overstaying my welcome? And am I being respectful of their space and the intention of the event? You know, it's I'm really only worried about me for the majority of it.
Yeah. I mean, it is the beauty of being a guest. You get to just relax and enjoy yourself. I mean, I love that you're saying all this. This is some honesty because I used to be the exact same way as you. I always wanted to be the person who hosted. I always wanted to be the person who people used to come, I'm the house everyone wants to come over to. I always had this dream that I would be this host, but I didn't really I felt the same way. It's too much anxiety. It's like when it's your birthday and the party's about you, which is so funny because I love birthdays so much. I love celebrating birthdays. But when it's my birthday, I'm full of anxiety about it because everyone's coming over for the purpose of just me. And that's stressful to me and a lot of attention. And I'm always worried everyone's bored or are they liking my birthday party? What's happening? So it took me a long time to refine that and figure out how to not only make everyone have a good time, but how do I have a good time too?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I love this twist. I didn't know you felt this way.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it and I think I said it in therapy today too.
Oh,
I don't very often invite people to my house.
okay.
We don't have guests very often.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm just unless they're really good friends. Liz and I were talking yesterday on Voxer about how if she came over to my house right now, I literally wouldn't clean a thing because I am not worried at all about her judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very few people in my life.
Right.
The majority of people, I will rage clean for 3 hours before anybody comes over. And so it's just, and I do it out of anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But you said something really interesting on Voxer yesterday, and I want you to talk about it.
Oh, okay. What'd I say?
Your shift in perspective of you're not preparing your home for you. You are go into that.
Okay. What I said was that we got to change our mindset about the reason we think we're cleaning our house so deeply and we're just making our house just be this whole fucking vibe. We think that we're doing it. Well, we know we're doing it because we don't want to be judged. We don't want people to come over and think, oh my God, what is this house? This is so gross. Do they ever clean? We have this whole narrative in our minds of what we're projecting, what everyone's going to be thinking. But I always say, change your mindset and look at it in a way where it's no, I'm cleaning my house, not out of anxiety, but out of respect for my friends who are coming over because I want them to have a good time. That's what I said, right?
Yeah. Out of respect for the guest.
Yeah, you're doing it out of respect for your guest, not out of, I don't want you to judge me. Those are very different things, It's I just want to because you love your friends and you want them to have a really nice experience coming over into your home where maybe you're feeding them a meal, maybe you're just opening up a bottle of wine, whatever it is, it's part of like inviting them into your space out of love and respect rather than I did this so you don't think I'm an awful person. Like I'm a disgusting person. So I that's how I kind of look at it.
That is a good way to look at it. I think, am I just thinking too much about me?
No, I think it's such a natural response, Linz. Like, especially like, oh my gosh, when you don't really know the people that are coming over too well, it's very easy to like fall into like, we have to redecorate completely before they come over so that this house is top notch. It's also why people don't throw housewarming parties after they move in. They throw them like 2 years later because they're like, well, I didn't have furniture and I didn't have curtains and I whatever. And it's like, nobody cares. It's more about you are having a housewarming to welcome your people into this new space. Like the first time that clicked for me, I was 30 years old. I had just moved into my own apartment because I always had roommates before then. So it was my first apartment where I was living by myself. It was my very own space. I had friends come over like I'm pretty sure a week and a half after I moved in. I did not have a dining room table. Or no, I did. I had a dining room table and basically a bed. Like my roommate before me had everything. So I never really had to buy anything. So we like ordered takeout, sat on the floor, bare bones, like there was nothing. And it's like one of my favorite memories.
I think that's awesome. Like I've heard of people doing housewarming parties where everybody brings like a bottle of their favorite. So
Yes.
like you're basically stocking their bar for them or
Yes, I
like
love
yeah,
that. That's such
yeah.
a great idea. I'm going to remember that when I move into my next
Remember it.
house.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we really wanted to do this episode because we are entering hosting season. Like, whether you're usually the host or you are a guest, I feel like we have like a lot to say about this. Like, where do we begin?
Halloween
Yes.
parties,
Oh, if we're lucky.
Thanksgiving stuff,
Hmm.
Christmas part. Oh my God, so many Christmas parties.
I love holiday parties.
Yes. And it is what I feel like the spirit of all the seasons we get to experience in the next like few months is what keeps me going throughout the winter.
Linz, are you like a big holiday person?
I
Do you love
love
Oh my
it.
God, I love that you love it.
Yeah, I'm not so much into Thanksgiving. I
Okay.
don't know. I'm like, I would like to learn to like it.
I'm more a
Uh,
Friendsgiving person, to be honest,
yeah,
because like
but
love family and all, but Friendsgiving is just so much more enjoyable to me.
and then yeah, love Christmas. Christmas is my shit, is my jam.
Christmas is I just love all the holidays. How do you feel about New Year's?
Oh
Do you
my God,
like
no,
New
New Year's is
Year's?
my favorite. New Year's is my favorite.
I love New Year's too.
New Year's is probably yeah.
Oh
I
my
fucking love
gosh.
New Year's.
What do you usually do for New Year's? Do you
Well,
throw a
I haven't
party?
really. Well, I used to pre-child.
Mm-hmm.
I threw
Right.
two really big ones at Northlight.
How
I think it
fun,
was
Linz. I wish I would have gone. I think it was during the years I was always in LA for New Year's.
yeah. I threw like a rager the last year in the studio.
Oh my
It
gosh.
it was wild, Liz. Like the neighbors, like we were like there were a bunch of like speakers outside the studio door because we were like loading in like
Yeah.
music stuff. And the neighbor left a note on the door being like, "Hi, we can see that you're moving in like things that appear to be loud. So we would appreciate if you would keep it down because there is a tenant in this building." And we just
Okay.
didn't listen because I'm like, this is a
Sure.
commercial building and you happen to live here.
And it's New
So
Year's.
like it's New Year's.
It's New Year's Eve, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, it was so fun.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but yeah, like now I don't think I've been awake for a countdown in a few
I
years.
know it's a different time and season of life for sure. I'm like
Yeah.
definitely the person who wants to be up till like 2 in the morning on New Year's Eve, but it's not that hasn't been my like last year was not what was going on. I don't even remember what we did for New Year's last year. I need to ask Zach. I don't even have a memory of it. And then the year before that, I was pregnant. So, but I have such fun memories of New Year's Eve. And one of them is my parents always throw a really big New Year's Eve party. It's so fun. Like my friends in LA would go to my parents' house for this party. We would like
Oh, that's awesome.
caravan down to my parents. Yeah, and it's just the best. We've gotten live music before. Yeah, like a Latin band will play in my parents' dining room. Everyone gets really dressed up, and then the last like 20 minutes before countdown, we put on like Ryan Seacrest and just like have that in the background. And then I
Amazing.
always, yeah, then I'm like all about the gaudiness of New Year's Eve, right? Like sequins and disco balls and whatever. And like, I remember one year, oh, this is the best party. I went to Party City and I bought everybody just like a million gaudy party hats and I got streamers and like, the poppers and all that. And I just walked around and gave it to everybody. And it was just, we danced until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, what a time.
To be
Good
alive.
times. What a time to be alive. One year, okay, this is my last New Year's Eve party story. I am new to dating Zach, and he loves holidays, but he's never been like experienced New Year's in LA, and New Year's in LA is like a big deal. So I was like, what if one year we go and spend New Year's in LA? And like I show you like a really good time. And he was like, that sounds so fun. Let's do it. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, we got to dress up. We're going to dress up. Yes. And I was like, yes, we will dress up. So we go to LA. And I realized after I did this with Zach that the reason it was in my mind so much fun was because I used to do this all the time in my 20s,
Mm.
which is a different experience, but it's still fun. It's just different now. But we did this in 2018. Yeah, 2018. This is when we did this. And so it's the first year we've been dating basically. And what you do in LA, something you can do is hotels, they throw parties.
Oh,
And
nice.
I know it's so fun. And you buy a ticket, which can range whatever. And a lot of you have to. What I suggest is always going to the bar or the hotels that are throwing parties that are also offering open bar.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yes.
So your ticket might be a little higher, but it's so worth it because every drink is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The W Hotel in LA is top notch, and they throw like the best New Year, or at least they did. I don't know if it's still going on, but the best New Year's parties. It's like Zach compared it to adult prom. So everyone's dressed up. I'm talking like the guys are wearing, like Zach basically wore a suit. Like it's like you're
Amazing.
not fucking around here, okay? They hand out like little party hats and things like that just for fun. They had like champagne stations where they're literally just like rows of glasses of champagne and you just go up and it's like almost like tray pass but stationary and you just go up and like get your champagne over and over and over again. And there's like different rooms with different music. So like upstairs might be more like I always want to call it EDM,
Yeah.
like yeah, dance music, EDM.
Yeah.
Another room might be like hip hop and stuff. So it's really fun. You just like walk around the hotel and like choose your choice and dance. And we went with like some friends. But what's annoying though is that you have to stand in line outside, basically really cold, waiting for the doors to open. And like you want to be in line, you don't want to show up late because you want to like squeeze the juice out of the party. And
Yeah.
like you don't want to just show up like an hour before you just spent like $100 on a ticket or something. So you do have to stand in line and that's really annoying. But Zach got smart. He was like, I'm here to have a great time. I'll be back. And I was like, where are you going? In the streets of Hollywood. He's like, I'm going to go find something. I'll be right back. And we're all standing there annoyed that it's taking so long for the doors to open. And all of a sudden we see Zach approaching. He pulls a bottle out of his jacket and it's a bottle of what's the cinnamon liquor?
Oh my God, Fireball.
Fireball. It's like a bottle of Fireball. And I'm like, Zach, what is happening? He's like, dude,
Oh.
let's just get this party started.
Okay, something you don't know about me.
Okay.
Fireball is like my no drink. Like,
Because
you know
it's
how
gross to you.
no, because okay, I'm sure you can relate in some
Okay.
way.
Mm-hmm.
There's everybody has a drink that they had a really bad night on, and
Oh,
now,
Jägermeister.
yeah.
Hi.
Okay, yep, there you go.
Don't even
And
look at a bottle.
it's
I
ruined.
can't. It's
It's ruined for
disgusting.
you.
Yes, I hear you. I don't
Yeah.
even want to say Jaeger. It's just forever
Yeah.
ruined. I get
It
it.
was it was my first fall in Seattle, and we were watching the Seahawks at some bar in Capitol Hill, and I
Oh
lived
God.
in Westlake. And so we were like very poor and so drunk. Oh my
Oh
God.
God.
Like I just remember like shots of Fireball being passed around, and I yeah, took too many. And my husband at the time was like, we can just walk home. Like, well, we can walk home. And I'm like, no, I'm like cranky drunk, you know, where you're just like whiny drunk.
Someone
And
carry me.
yeah, somebody carry me home. I can't. And he's like, no, like we can do it. We can walk. And I'm like, Capitol Hill to Westlake? Like what? I can't. So
How old were you
finally,
at this time?
I think I was 23.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes.
Yeah. And so we lived at the top of the hill. We made it all the way to Westlake, and we're walking up this hill. And that's when I decided to collapse. I like
Hilarious.
fall onto my knees, and then I puked downhill on myself.
Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
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 That is
Yeah.
the epitome of being a 20 something on New Year's.
Yeah.
Why are
So
we
no
like
more
this?
fireball. No more fireball.
I hear you.
Disgusting. It's disgusting.
I literally can't tell. I'll have to tell you offline my Jaeger story because it is not for the public.
Was that story okay for the public?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Mine
I
is
think people
not.
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I love that story. Perfect. Well, wow, I digress.
We went on a really
We
long New
went
Year's rant.
But one of my favorite things to do on New Year's though is go to a house party.
Oh yeah.
Like New Year's house parties are the best. Like this is why I was bringing up my parents' party and stuff. So all ties back into hosting. And all through my 20s, I wanted to be that person who was like a really good host, but I just didn't really have the skill set. And I didn't grow up in a house where we were always the host to like my friends and things like that. It was more just like
Mhm.
family always came over and like that's a different type of vibe, you know? It wasn't like we were technically hosting. And so I didn't really like grow up with those skills. And then once I started living on my own, I was like, I want to really be like, I want to get better at this. And obviously, I could still get better, but it is something I really love doing now. And thankfully, I married someone who shares in that passion. And so we love to host. So I wanted to like share some of those things, you know?
Will you also go into how to get over your fear of hosting?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Great.
One of the things, I used to project a lot and stress about the music. Is everyone hating this music? I would literally go change the song every 5 minutes, which by the way is annoying. What am
Tip
I
number
doing?
1, don't change the
Yes.
song every 5
Just put a
minutes.
playlist
Great.
on, call it a day. And yeah, I would just like obsess about all these little things until one day I bought Zach a cookbook by Allison Roman. Because even
Mhm.
up like I was definitely I started hosting a lot once I entered my 30s, but it wasn't until I met Zach and bought him a cookbook for his birthday or Christmas or something one year, and it was an Allison Roman cookbook. And I love her cookbooks because it's like reading a book. It's not just like pages of recipes. She really adds lots of anecdotes about her life and personal stories and things like that. And her philosophy on cooking, but not just cooking, like quote entertaining, and something she says in her cookbook, it's the second one called Nothing Fancy. She says you're not entertaining, you're having people over. And it really changed things for me
Mm.
because what she's saying is you're not performing. This is not a performance. You're just having people
Yeah.
in your home. So it was really life changing, like reading this, because that's how I always viewed hosting. I felt like I had to put on a performance. I had to make the house look a certain way. I had to dress a certain way. I needed to make certain things that are people pleasing items. You know what I mean? It was always just so performative. And that's why I personally could not relax because I wasn't really just like being, I was like on. So once I started looking at it like, I'm just having people over into my space that is ready made, that is a different type of vibe. And something she also said, like part of making that the vibe is you are not apologizing ever for anything in your home. For example, if you have six wine glasses and none of them match, you are not apologizing for that. You are just handing people their wine glasses. If you don't have like perfect china or like matching anything, if you don't have a lot of counter space, whatever it is, you're not apologizing for it because when you do that, it makes your guests feel like, should I not touch anything? Like it makes everything very precious
Mm.
as opposed to them just relaxing into your space and finding it really charming that you don't have any matching glasses and that you're totally confident about that and owning it. So ever since then, I never apologize for not having something fancy. The house isn't perfect. I just like, I let it go and it's changed the game for me for sure. For example, whenever Zach and I host like a dinner party or something like that, we live in a townhouse. So we do have a lot of counter space, but when you're cooking for 8 people, 10 people, it's like never enough counter space. So, what we do is we unplug all of our appliances, basically, that we're not going to be using our coffee maker, our soda stream. We move like important things we use it daily and we put them in our bedroom on the floor. And people go into our bedroom during this time. They'll see it. We don't apologize. We don't care. We're just like, we made room for y'all. This is where the shit's going. I don't try to hide it. I'm just like, we're moving this out of the way.
Yeah.
So, ever since making those types of adjustments, I feel like hosting has become so relaxing to me and like really enjoyable. And in a way, I kind of tell Zach this too. I'm like, one day we're not going to live in this townhouse. We're going to have so much more space. And we're going to look back at this time as like a very nostalgic, romantic time in our life. Where remember our first home together? Remember how we would
Mm.
like put the coffee maker in our bedroom on the floor? Remember when we would like all we had room for were like little tea light candles and we didn't have space to like light the whole room with tons of candles? Like, so I kind of look at it as like I'm inviting people into this time in our life. If you look at it that way, it's a lot less pressure. It's a lot less stress.
That is, and yeah, as you're talking, I'm kind of thinking about like how I would do that in my own house. And honestly, I think the last time that I like truly hosted and was like excited about it was our first year in this house in 2020. I hosted our family for Christmas.
Mm,
And but I think I felt comfortable doing so because we had just moved into the house like a few months before. So
right.
everything was still very like new house clean. And we
Yeah.
live in a house that was built in the 40s. So it's not at all a new house, but like it was like professionally cleaned and stuff before we bought it.
Sure. Yeah.
And now I'm like, my baseboards aren't clean enough for people to come
Oh,
over.
the baseboards. They haunt me. I'm not going to lie.
There's crayon all over the
Oh,
walls. Yeah,
but it's
it
like
is
that's the thing
wild.
though, Linz, your house is lived in now. And I love that feeling of going into someone's home and feel like there's history here. It's lived in. Like that's the charm. And it's I hear music.
It's my husband. Hold
Oh,
on.
Ian, for
God.
any hoodles.
Did I tell you that he's told me before that he's jealous of you and how much I talk to you?
I love this. I really love that he's jealous of me. It really
I
makes me
know.
happy.
Like he came upstairs one time to talk to me and my Voxer was open and
Uh-huh.
then you just like started talking and he's like I just want to get a word in edgewise. And I was like
Yeah, I was
and I
probably
was
talking for
like
6 minutes.
but no, I was like, babe, my phone just happened to be open,
Yeah.
but she hadn't we hadn't been talking for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
which is so long.
So long.
Okay,
So
anyway,
long. Oh my God. So I want
what were
Zach to be
you
jealous of
saying?
something. Can Zach be jealous? I want Zach to be jealous. He's never jealous. He is you. He's just like, cool, peace out. I'll see you when I see you. And I'm like, be obsessed with me. God. Ian and I are going to cuddle. I feel like that's really what needs to happen here. It's just like Ian and I need to spoon and really get the cuddles out so that our spouses can just have a moment alone. God.
Yeah, and like Zach and I will have like this just intellectual conversation talking about like
No, see, this is what would happen. You two would hang out and you would just like be silent and have
that's
your
true.
yeah, you would just have your alone time, but it'd just be like together somehow in the same room. Meanwhile, Ian and I are gonna have like, no, you're the best. No, you're the best. And then affirm each other all day and just cuddle.
Yeah, if I came to your house and it was Zach and I hang, Zach would be up in your bedroom and I
Mm-hmm.
would be in your living room and we'd
Yes.
both have sound canceling headphones on.
Yes, you guys would go off into your perfect silent universes where you want to be. And Ian and I are going to be over here like, so what do you think? Should we cuddle for like 3 hours? Is that enough time?
Oh, this is
We're going to run away
hilarious.
together. It's fine. Anywho, um, I see you,
Oh,
Ian.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm going to tell Zach too. You should be jealous of Lindsay. I'm going to tell
okay.
him.
Tell him.
I
Tell
talked to
him.
her 50% more than you. What were we talking about? Oh, lived in. The house is lived in.
Yes.
So something I wanted to say. So when we moved into this house, it was a new build. So there's a sterile aspect to a new build, right? Like never
Yeah.
been touched. It smells like new paint in here, right? Like everything is just so like perfect and untouched. And it took like a while for it to feel lived in. I remember my friend Kim, like she comes up every year for Friendsgiving from LA. She'll fly
Okay.
up to spend Friendsgiving with us. And the first couple of years, great, good times. By the third year, I had really gone deep into decorating. There were a lot more prints and like photos on the walls, more rugs. And it just was like, it wasn't just so much decor, but it was like, oh, there's like plants in here now. And there's the stain I made on the carpet because Zach bumped my elbow and now there's coffee on the rug and whatever. And she walks in and she goes, oh my, and to me, like, I don't notice that it's starting to look super lived in. I'm just living here. But she walked in from the airport and she's like, oh shit, you guys, the house looks great. And I was like, really? Thank you. I haven't changed anything really. She goes, no, it looks really lived in.
Oh.
And I was like, it clicked for me. I was like, oh, yeah. Like, obviously we cleaned the house because she was going to be our house guest for the next 4 days or whatever it was. But I didn't realize like that really makes a difference. Like, it's okay to have the crayons on the wall and it's like okay to not have matching anything and all that stuff. It's like, it really makes your house feel homey,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So I
Yeah.
just need to get over it.
Yeah, I think you know what it is? You just have to like sit in it, Lens. Like just let it go.
Like sit in it by myself or sit in it once people get here. Like when do I sit in it, Liz?
I think for the sake of this episode, what I mean is like not apologize for it and own it. You're like, yeah, I
Okay.
have a 3-year-old. There's crayon on the fucking wall. She's trying to ruin this house.
Literally.
Yeah. Like Oliver is obsessed with Luna's food bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Like her, especially like when she's eating, he'll go and put his hand in the bowl while she's eating. And I'm like, that is a really easy way to get your hand bitten. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's annoying. But because there's like splattered stuff around, like on the walls around Luna's bowl, and I'm constantly cleaning it. And now it's created some like staining on the white paint. Like, this is something I have to own. I'm like, am I going to go repaint the wall every day? Probably not. And there's always just like water splashes because he puts his hands in the water bowl and he goes like this. So
Oh
like
my
I'm
God, the
constantly,
water bowl.
God, can they not? It's
Yeah.
so annoying. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. Just like own it. It's okay. But I wanted to talk a little bit about let's talk about like what makes a good host, because you said you wanted to talk about from like the guest perspective. I'm really interested to know what makes you feel really like comfy when you go to someone's house.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the vibe you feel? Like or what are not the vibe, but like what are things that you've noticed? Oh, this feels really good.
I think it's little things like definitely the way that I'm welcomed into a house.
Mhm.
I definitely like to be given direction. So, like,
Yep.
I'm definitely a shoes off household.
Mhm.
So, like, I already kind of instinctually take off my shoes, but I don't know. I like the rules to be laid out. And I like when somebody seems, and I'm like totally speaking to myself right now, like when somebody seems too uptight, it makes me
Mm.
anxious. And so
Mhm.
I like someone to be very like just say subtle things to make me feel at home, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Like
is
even as little as like yeah, have a seat right there or something or like whatever. Like
mhm.
what do you like what space of your home am I supposed to be walking into right now? Like are we chatting on your couch? Are we chatting at like your kitchen table? Like what's happening?
For
And
sure.
maybe that's like the control freak in me, but like I want to know as a guest that I'm doing it right.
Okay, I love this because that's why I wrote down arrival is key.
All right. Great.
That
Love
is
it.
a really important thing, I think, about being a good guest or a good host is yes, showing your guests the rhythm, like showing them what is happening right now. Because even if they're a really close friend, let's say you're throwing a dinner party or something, it's like you can put your coats here, shoes off. One of the things I really like to do is I like to text everyone the door is open, come on in.
That's
Instead
great.
of like opening the door each time, I just unlock the door and I let everyone know just come on in. There's something about that makes people feel already like at home.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I do. And then Zach and I leave our shoes by the door so it shows we're a no shoes household. And then they come upstairs into our living area. And usually, if Zach and I are cooking, we're usually a little bit frazzled because, especially now that we have Oliver, we're managing a toddler and making food for people at the same time with no help. We don't have family here to help us or anything like that. So it is a little like stressful sometimes. And so what we do is we make like a drink station because Zach is the one who like really makes good cocktails, and I'm the wine pourer. But if we are cooking, it's like we want people to immediately be able to like pour themselves a drink so that it takes the pressure off us. So we make like a little drink station and we make it look really pretty. So I usually go
Nice.
to like Ballard Market. They have really pretty like eucalyptus or just dried florals or things like that. And I just try to make the drink station cute with garnishes, anything they're going to want to make their drink. And that way, everyone is just like doing their own thing and we can focus on cooking. So I always feel like that's a really good tip. And then at the same time, having like just some little snacks or apps or whatever you want so that people can have a drink and a snack instead of what can happen, especially in my house. The way our living room and our kitchen is set up, it's like one room. So
Yeah.
people love, even though we have the whole living room area, people want to hang out with us in the kitchen, which is great. But we're like thinking about timers, we're thinking about oven space, we're thinking about all this stuff. And what happens is everyone just surrounds us in front, like they're watching us cook. Like, guys, I'm a little frazzled. I want to get dinner like done. So we always like put the drinks and the snacks near each other so that everyone can go hang out over there. That's
And is
my
everybody that you're inviting to a dinner party, do they normally all know each other already?
Not always. So sometimes, for example, Zach's friends and my friends are not necessarily friends together. Like they might see each other only when we do like a shared hosting type of thing like that. And that's why it's also important for us to do those little stations because it forces people to mingle and like chat.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to also really stress about that, Lens. Like, oh God, these people don't know each other. I feel like I need to babysit. I feel like I need to like be the one who helps them chat. And then like I've let that go. I'm like, no, I don't know if you ever feel that way, but I I've let that go too. I'm like, let them work that out.
Yeah, I mean, the event that I host most often is Opal's birthday. And that's always kind of awkward because we've got friends, we've got family. The majority of the people there are my family. And then we have like some
Okay.
random friends that come in. So it's like trying to like merge everybody together.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
I
But
know. I totally hear you.
and I'm also hearing that I have permission to not completely finish cooking before people get there.
I absolutely encourage you not to finish cooking before people get there
Okay, because I'm like, I don't want
because
to be rude and be like in the kitchen, like doing all, you know.
yeah, no, I think timing is huge when it comes to hosting. So, this is also why I'm like, let yourself in. I'm busy. I am cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also creates I don't know, like a vibe of you're entering my home and what I'm already doing. Like, just come on in. Like, am I inviting you into this space, you know? And it's nice. It's like I'll be making a salad. I'll be like putting something in the oven and hey, how are you? And then we'll hug and I'll be right there. I'm just gonna finish this. Make yourself a drink, blah blah blah. It's like setting the tone. It really sets the tone to like it sends a message like this is my house. Come on in, do whatever you want, make yourself cozy, blah blah blah. So we usually the things we have in place already are we have drinks ready, appetizers ready, and all of the like sides and again, this is if we're cooking, like the main dishes and things, that's what we are like finishing up. So if there's anything that's going to be, we try not to, we want all the food, like actual food to be done within like 30 to 40 minutes of people arriving,
Okay.
because that gives you enough time to like say hi to everybody, finish up cooking, everyone's had a snack, and then it's like, oh, dinner's ready. And so it's like almost an hour after everyone's arrived, and it's just like it's a really nice flow. And then the
Yeah.
rest of the night, you can just like hang out and pour drinks if you want. Like something that really helps me too is I want to sit down and enjoy my drink and like I want to be able to like sit and relax too. I think that's something I never used to do when I was younger. It was like I would just be like, who needs what? Oh God, I was like running around like a crazy person. And then I would be exhausted by the time everyone left instead of feeling like I really enjoyed myself. So I sit and I like enjoy my drink and then I just I kind of dart around the room a little bit, see if anyone's drink is low, and I'll offer anybody anything else. But what I have found is that because I have established this type of flow in my home, people don't even want me to get up now. Everyone just wants to pour their own stuff because they feel so at home that they want to do
Mm.
it themselves.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I like this. But then I'm like, oh, okay, now it's like dessert time. So then I'll get up and I'll like start plating desserts or something, or I'll make like a little dessert station.
Cute.
Yeah. So that's what I do for the
Seems like
beginning.
the beginning. That's not it. That's not all of it.
Well, I guess it is all of it. That's true. I guess it is all of it. No, I did. I covered everything.
Yeah.
I did cover everything. Okay, I thought I had more
But
notes. Nope, that's it.
you started that on like arrival is key. And yeah, like I think there is something to be said about kind of setting people up for success before they
Mhm.
arrive. So like texting them the door is open. Something I could do better is so like our property, we put a fence around the front, which
Mhm.
I didn't realize was like a Seattle thing until I moved there. But like Seattle people love to put like a fence right at the front of their property, you know? So you have to like, in order to get to their front door, you walk through a gate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so we did that at our house here in Boise. So, and then for our driveway, we share it with our neighbor. So we have like an easement to use their driveway. And then you
Mhm.
turn into like our little side. So, like, if you're using our driveway, then you're going to come in through our side door. So I
Oh,
think people
okay.
get confused. Like, literally, Liz, we only use our front door if we are picking up a package that has been left there.
Oh, wow. Do you
Like,
like that? Do you prefer that?
I would love for people to come through the front door
Mhm.
because, like, where you park at the side door is like, I don't know, like our little like garage is there, like our trash cans are there, stuff like That door also really needs to be refinished. I need to like strip the paint and
Okay.
redo it. But I can't control that always. People now know, the people that come to my house most often, they come to the side door always.
Okay. Well, maybe next time you host a little party or whatever, you text everybody, "Hey guys, come on in through the front door. It's open."
Front door, it's open. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Noted. Ah, I love that. It's a really good point though, because sometimes when I go to somebody's house who has a front door and a side door and either one can be used, but I know everyone's in the backyard at that moment, I'm like, should I go through the side door then? I never know which door to use. And it would be really nice if they would text us and be like, "Hey, come on in through the whatever door."
Yeah.
Direction. It's
Also,
important.
yeah, also with houses that have a driveway, can I park in the driveway? Should I not
Yeah.
park in the driveway? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, you never know.
I know.
And
I hear you. Before we had Oliver, the downstairs room was my office slash guest room. And whenever we would have people over, we used to have like a coat, I mean, not a coat rack per se, but just like on the wall, it was like, what do you call that? Where it's like different hooks,
yeah, like a little coat
like a little coat
hook.
hanger, whatever.
Hook, yeah.
We would text everybody, "Hey, doors open. Feel free to put your jackets in the office and come on upstairs." Like literally telling everybody exactly what to do when they get here.
Great.
And yeah, it's important.
I feel like I need you to write me a guide of exactly what to do when I'm hosting. And just,
Okay.
I'll have a little earpiece in my ear, and maybe I'll wear
Yes.
like those Google glasses so you can see what I'm
Yes.
seeing, and you just say,
Oh
"Okay,
my
Linz,
gosh. I will
now
wedding
is the
planner
time."
this.
Great.
Yes.
Now
Remember
is the
she does that in
time.
the wedding planner? She like tells the best man speech in his ear.
Oh,
And I'm like, I'm
hilarious.
going to do this for you.
Great. Great. That is one thing. I can give an impromptu speech. Like
Wow.
that is something I am good at.
I love that.
But yeah,
I think speeches when you're having friends over is everything.
I fucking love speeches. I love
Me too.
toasts. I love
Yes, I love
clinking
toast.
glasses.
The whole thing. Angeline always tells me to say a speech whenever we're all together. Give us a speech. Tell us a story, whatever. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, that's so terrifying.
You
But I
get
do
up
love
and
a
tell
good
us a
toast.
story.
I know. Angeline, I want you to
Angeline, way
toast
with
me next time, okay?
words. Yeah. She always writes the most beautiful things. So you get up
I
and
know.
talk.
I know. She's a walking
She's going to listen
poet.
to this and be like, fuck you
Hi, Angeline.
guys.
We love you. Oh my God. Hilarious. Well, I want you to talk about like all these little pointers that you have as far as like being a guest.
Yeah, so I definitely think like okay, well, one, I think it stems from my people pleasing ways and
Mm-hmm.
not wanting anybody to be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
But I am very uncomfortable with bad manners. Like,
Mm.
and I've noticed it with other people, you know? So like people chewing with their mouth open, people walking in wearing shoes in my house.
Oh.
I like, and so it's things like that that I notice that I get annoyed by. So when I come to somebody else's house, like I never want to be an annoyance to them. So like, just like cleaning up after myself. You know, if Opal is like, we're on a play date and she like takes out all their toys, like I'm always going to be trying to put them back. Like,
Oh my gosh, speaking of that, I was at my friend Alana's last night and Oliver would not go to sleep. And so I was like holding him most of the night, but at one point he wanted to like walk around. And so I'm like following him around like a hawk and she had candles lit and this boy was trying to burn himself. Like he just kept walking around trying to like touch flames. I can't. I was like, "Oh my God. This is why the
at that
toddlers are they
age,
stay." No, they're not invited.
at
Okay?
that age, they're so cute, but like there's really like a tumbleweed and a marble rolling around in there. Like
Yes.
there's just not much.
They're not, no, something is wrong. Like they're just not thinking, oh, this could kill me or this could burn me, like whatever. And I'm like following around. And at one point I had like my arms just like wrapped, like my arm just wrapped around his two arms. So he was like in a straitjacket basically. And I'm like, you can't be trusted. And then Alana is like, she doesn't have kids. Her house isn't baby proofed. And she's like walking around her apartment. She's, maybe we'll put this up here. We'll put this up. I'm like, I'm just gonna hold him so that you can relax because this is wild.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Tangent, Linz, I'm sorry. What happens at Christmas now that I have a walking toddler who wants to destroy everything and we have a Christmas tree? Should we not even bother? Like, what's happening?
No, you can put it up. Just make sure you have like the sandbags you can put on like the bottom of C stands and tripods and stuff. I
Yes.
put I put one of those on the base of our tree, and like she's good now. But we don't put any of our breakable ornaments
Okay.
under the halfway point. So like
Genius.
yeah, anything that we don't mind, like yeah, if it but preferably we would like not for things not to break, but
Hmm.
the plastic ones or like soft ones can go on the bottom. We don't put out any presents until like we're ready to
That's,
open them.
oh man, that's such a bummer. I know, but
Yeah.
it's so true. They're going to destroy it.
I have seen this parent hack though that I've never done it, but they get like these huge boxes and then they wrap it, but there's nothing inside except like a weight. And they build like a wall of
Oh,
presents around the base of the tree that Oliver will then be not strong enough to move because there's like a 5 or 10 pound weight in the box, but it still makes your house look cute and like festive.
I'm looking this up immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just get
Okay.
like an
Oh,
assortment of different boxes just as long as there's a couple that are somewhat his height so that he can't get past them.
okay, perfect. And I'll just put like my dumbbells in them.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay,
Because
love
we aren't
this.
using those around Christmas.
We're not even using them now. I really have to get it together, honestly.
Same, dude.
God,
Same.
I want to be so toned. I want to be a pillar of strength. And I am basically a hot potato, just wrapped in a
Same.
blazer. Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know whether I'm ready to let go of my dream of someday being like super fucking ripped.
Mm,
But I honestly don't think that I care enough.
and that's fine. I,
Like I can walk up a big hill, fine. I can go
great.
on a bike ride, I can go on a hike. I'm okay. But I also really like to eat. I love my life. I love to experience
Food is
things.
life. Hmm.
Food is life. And my husband thinks I'm hot. So there we go. That's enough for me.
I love how you just really do it for him.
I,
I get it. You do it for me, Lindsay.
oh, thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
Mm.
I was literally wearing the most ridiculous outfit 2 days ago. It was like at night, so like I just didn't care. My hair was at the top of my head. I had my huge ass like magnifying glasses on, this little crop top sweater, and these really kind of like baggy, flowy pajama pants that are high
Perfect.
waisted, but don't
Hmm.
do me any favors and like just I just my belly and my butt is just a swinging in those. I think I literally look just not great, and he is like, those are the best pants you've ever worn ever, and I'm like, I think it's because like you can just see my ass cheeks moving when I walk.
That's what matters,
Like
honestly.
that's
That's
all he
just what
cares about.
matters. Yes.
Yeah,
I need to
like
find you a video that Zach took of me when I was pregnant. I was like newly pregnant, so I wasn't really showing yet, but I was exhausted and just like super tired. I was wearing one of his sweaters where it's so big on me that if I let the sleeves go, they go past my hands. So I'm just like ridiculous. And it was wintertime, so I had a lot of layers on under that. And then I had socks over my leggings. And I had at the time these like moccasin slippers that I had gotten from Target, but I was a little swollen and I had like crazy cankles. So I'm wearing these like moccasin slippers, socks over my leggings, and my legs just looked like these sausages. And I had this like oversized sweater and I'm cranky. And I was like talking to him and he was looking at me with his phone like this. And I didn't know he was making a video of me. And he like panned from my feet all the way up. And I noticed that he was making a video of me. And I'm like, why? He's like, I want to remember you like this. And I was like,
oh,
uh-huh, I hate you. Goodbye. And I'm just
my pregnancy was the time that Ian discovered he could make slow mo videos on the iPhone.
no.
The amount of videos he made of me trying to get off the couch 8 months pregnant in slow mo with the
No.
audio, just like,
Divorce.
no,
No. Divorce.
divorce. I am not happy about that.
I do not approve this message. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. I need to process that.
But one more thing about the guest experience is I really like to be like, if it makes sense, I like to be like walked to the door. I like to be
Oh,
like said goodbye to, you know?
yes. Yes, I
Like
love that.
at your house it's a little hard. I feel like as
It
long
is
as you
hard at my
say,
house.
yeah, as long as you can say goodbye to me just like at the top of your stairs, that
Mm-hmm.
feels fine. But there,
Okay.
I've been at a couple play dates where we'll be like playing upstairs and then like they'll just like start getting ready for nap time and be like, okay, bye. And I'm just like walking down the stairs by myself. It's just,
Oh, that's so odd.
yeah. And then if Opal's like not quite into putting her shoes on, then we're just like, we've said goodbye, but we're like still in their house. And it's just like, see your guests out, like,
Yes.
and cap it, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's thank you for reminding me about that because that is something I need to remember in my house because it's you have to go down two flights of stairs to get to the main door and then it's kind of bottlenecks because it's a narrow space.
Yeah.
And so we tend to always say bye to everybody from our kitchen.
I think that's fine.
Okay, well, I'm going to be more diligent about walking people to the door though. I like that.
Also, I think, have you read the book, The Art of Gathering?
My friend Alana just gifted it to me. I can't wait to
Okay.
read it. Yeah.
It is a great book and she has a section in there. I think she kind of touches on it throughout the book, but like being very clear with your guests when the event is over because you don't
Oh,
you don't just want to like, I mean it depends on the event, but she says you don't just want to like let it linger and like fizzle out and then be like,
yeah.
oh well, I guess it's done. She's like, you want to end on like a really high note. And so that's another like anxiety point for me is like, I want to know when I'm supposed to leave because I'll hang out with
Right.
people all fucking day.
Same. I feel like I'm the
Yeah.
last one to leave a party if you let me.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, totally. Same with like, it kind of brings up like a ancillary point, but I hate it when bands do encores.
Interesting.
Just end the fucking concert. Just end it. Don't leave and then make us do this whole fucking like song and dance literally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Encore, one more song. Oh my god. Like no, just I went to a show
That is
once.
so funny.
Yeah, and he's like, I promise y'all, this is the last song. Do not encore. I am not fucking around with you. I'm going to end it here. We're going to end it on a high note and we're going to call it good. And he was right. He did it. He walked off and the lights came on and we all went home.
Wow. This is so interesting, Linz. I love you. I don't mind an encore, but I get it. And do you know who Ingrid Michaelson is?
Yeah.
I saw her at the Troubadour many years ago, and she's so funny because that venue in LA is very small. It's like very like a famous intimate venue. And the show's obviously wrapping up and everything. And she goes, well, guys, this is going to be my last song. And then what I'm going to do is she's so funny. I'm going to go hide behind this, whatever. It was like a drum or something. She's like, I'm going to go hide behind this drum. And in about 30 seconds, I'll pop out again and then we can do the encore. I just don't want you to think that I'm trying to pull one on you. We're just going to like really do it. And she's like making fun of the fact that art musicians always go hide and then come back out and do this. She's like, I'm going to tell you I'm hiding and then I'm coming out and doing this thing. And she did it. And it was so fucking funny, but so true. She's like making
Yeah.
fun of this whole culture of encore.
Yeah. I hate it. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me when it's over.
Yeah, please tell me when it's over.
Yeah.
Tell me when I can leave. Like, I don't like this. Yeah.
How do you do that without seeming rude. Like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, everyone, you need to go. It's over. Like, how does this work? What does she suggest?
I forget. It is something like that, but it's much classier. And I do think it starts with the lead up. It's like in the invite, like definitely have an end time, and just yeah, you should read the book because I
Okay.
remember she had some really good points of how to end a party respectfully without like telling everybody get the fuck out of my house.
Okay, I'll put it in the show notes so people can look into it. I'm really excited to read it. Alana, my friend Alana is a really good hostess, and she says that she learned a lot of how she has people over from that book.
It's a great one. It's like it's one to
Can't
get
wait.
it in print and like keep it on your shelf and like go back to.
Yeah, I love a book like
Yeah.
that. What else? Is there anything else, Lance? Did we cover everything? We did
Oh,
it.
wait. Hot take. Well, okay, I
Mm.
don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but you tell me. Do you think that guests should never come empty handed?
Oh, that's a great question. So, normally I would say never come empty handed. However, I think a really classy move is as the host, if you are cooking and like whatever, we're going to stick to like the dinner example. If you're making dinner, I personally think it's really nice to just provide everything and then tell everybody there's no need to bring anything. If your guest still wants to bring like a bottle of wine, that it's okay. Like that's fine. Let them, and that's really sweet. But I like to always tell people to not bring anything as much as I can because I want to just like take care of them.
So that's another thing. Tell people. Give
Yes.
as much direction as possible for those of us with
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yes. For example, like I said, I went to Alana's house last night and she made dinner, and all of us that were coming over, can we bring anything? And she was like, nobody bring anything, but she did instruct Elena to bring some pita bread because she was going to be in the area where this pita bread in Seattle is like really good. So I
Okay.
was like, "Are you sure we can't bring anything?" She's like, "Don't bring anything." And it's true, she provided everything. And so I think that's really nice. Of course, it's also nice to, either way, it's fine. The point is to communicate what you're wanting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Lens, what's making you happy?
Well, something it just okay, so it's not so much I mean it is making me happy, but it does feel like I have kind of like a weight taken off or of like I
Ooh.
feel seen. Like I went to a kind of different type of doctor, not really a naturopath, but not really like an MD either. So I saw like a women's health like nurse practitioner. And so they just do things a little bit differently than the standard stuff. Like they're really looking into hormones and doing a lot of blood work.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I've been diagnosed with PCOS in the past. And she was like, I can tell even from not looking at your blood work quite yet that you're likely low in progesterone. And
Why
so
does
she's
she say
like,
that? Just like
because
looking
I,
at you?
well, no, not just looking, but like just talking to me. Like,
Oh.
I spot before my periods.
Oh,
I
okay.
have my little chin hairs. I've always struggled with just ovarian pain and stuff like that. Like I've
Mm.
had PCOS in the past. And she also said like you can't hurt yourself from taking too much progesterone. So she's like, I'm going to get you this topical cream. We're going to put that in. And she's like, the only
Ooh.
complaint I've ever had from this is a woman said she was too relaxed. And I was like,
Wow.
I do not have a chill bone in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be great. So anyway, that's what's making me happy is that I finally feel like I have a practitioner that like actually listened to me and actually saw me. It was an hour-long appointment and I just didn't feel rushed. Like it's
Oh,
just
I
always
love that.
so anxiety inducing going to the doctor. Like
Yeah, because they rush you, gaslight you. Like, that's so nice. I'm so glad you found
yeah,
her.
I am too.
Perfect.
So that that's what's making me happy. What is making you happy?
What's making me happy is that most of the year, this year, Zach and I have been talking about because our families live across the country from each other. His family's in upstate New York, my family's in LA, and so we switch Christmases every year. Last year we went to New York, this year we're supposed to go to LA. But we've been discussing how like maybe It is really expensive to travel as a family, and we
Mm-hmm.
usually have to board our dog. It's $60 a day, which means if we're gone for like a week, we're talking like $500. It's or more, and it's just, it ends up just being a very, very expensive trip for us. So, because we did cousins weekend this year, that was really expensive. So we're like, do we even like make it out to LA? But the moral of the story is that we figured something out and we're going to go to LA for Christmas. And I'm really excited because usually what we do is my aunt hosts in Palm Desert, which is basically like right next door to Palm Springs. She lives there. And so we all go to the desert for Christmas, which I know is the antithesis of what a Washington Christmas is like. But it will be 80 degrees and sunny, which is a delight for me. But yeah, so I'm just really happy to be able to go, especially now that I have Oliver in the world, because it makes holidays so much more special when you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're seeing family that you don't see all the time and they get to see your kid, it's like extra exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. My cousin's daughter is maybe like 3 or 4 months younger than Oliver. So now he has a cousin his age. And so my whole life, there were never babies in our family. And now we have babies in the family, and that's exciting. That's all.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like watching the Disney Channel growing up and like seeing like whatever, if there was like a movie that was filmed at Christmas time, but they lived in LA. Like it was
Yeah.
like sunny, but people still had Christmas decorations in their yard. I did not understand it.
It's weird.
I was like, I fully believed as a kid that people that lived in warm places weren't allowed to celebrate Christmas because
Oh my gosh.
it's not right. It didn't look
It's
right
not
to me.
right. I know.
It's not right.
I have actually, to this day, never have had a white Christmas.
What?
I know. Andrea was like,
Not
you have
even in
not
New
lived.
York?
It did snow one night when we were there, but on actual Christmas, it had already gone away.
Yeah.
Like it's never been cold enough, I think, to have like a full white Christmas. Like I've never experienced that. I've had a cold Christmas, but I've never had a snowy Christmas, and I hope that happens one day. I wish it snowed in Seattle in December.
Yeah, because it usually doesn't. If you guys get snow, it's like February, right?
Yeah, it's like February or March is when it
Yeah.
snows. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
bummer, but
Well, I
okay. Well,
hope
this
it
was
happens for
good.
you someday.
Thank you. Maybe I'll wait. Does it snow in Boise?
It's kind of like Seattle. I have had white Christmases here growing up, but yeah, it usually doesn't snow until like February. We do have
Okay.
a ski resort like 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away, and that always gets snow, but it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like when will they open this year? Like we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, Boise isn't generally known as like a super snowy place.
Okay.
It gets cold for sure.
I hear it gets really fucking cold in Idaho.
Yeah, Boise is like, I mean, 30s and 40s throughout the winter.
Okay, so not that bad. Is Moscow even colder?
Moscow is balls cold.
Okay, because those are the stories I hear from Chelsea and Alex when they
Hmm.
lived there. They're like, it's fucking gnarly.
Yeah, like on campus in Moscow, like they would shovel pathways through the snow. So like you would be
Oh my
walking
God.
and the snow would be like shoulder height and
No.
you would just be walking to school and like it took forever. Like if you got to class right on time, like that class wasn't starting for another 5 minutes because everybody had to like take off all their shit and like take off the gloves and the coats and like where do you put everything? Yeah.
I'd be like
Yeah.
worried that the snow was gonna like cave in on me while I'm walking through these paths.
You really have to worry about icicles.
Oh my God.
Like don't walk too close to a building because people like an icicle can fall off and just like spear you through the head. The look on your face right now.
Oh my God. No, I do not approve. That is so terrifying. We're just
Yeah.
casually walking to like class and then we just die from an icicle. That is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Wow. Okay. Thank you
R.I.P.
for this information. Well, I love you.
I love
and
you too.
I'll see everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
You can find the show notes at thesecretlifeofpod.com/episodes.
We would love for you to follow us on Instagram at The Secret Life of Pod, where we share lots of updates and personal musings.
Please subscribe, rate, and review. We read all of your feedback and it helps us grow.
If you have comments or ideas for future episodes, you can email us at hello@thesecretlifeofpod.com.
Okay, bye.
Bye.